morning as we are having a great time here on Wake Up Call with Dan Tortora, where sports meets that thing called life. It is awesome to be here every Monday through Friday from 9 a.m. to 11 a.m. Eastern Time, and you are here with us on so many avenues. Facebook.com, YouTube.com, and MixLR.com, all / Wake Up Call DT. Also on WakeUpCallDT.com's homepage and on Facebook.com / Live Now DT. So however you're connecting with the show, we thank you so much for tuning in, hanging out with us where sports meets life. Like I said, inside of these Cafe Kubal studios. So always happy to be here with you. Cafe Kubal, filling your cup up right, folks. And you know we have our cup right here in studio, and we fill it up right with Cafe Kubal. I love their chais. Obviously, their teas, their coffees, everything is there for you. Fill your cup up right with local today, tomorrow, and the next day. Cafe Kubal, 3501 James Street, 324 West Water Street, 401 South Salina Street. Amazing people, amazing business. Head out there today. Those are in Syracuse. You'll also find one in Manlius, 343 Fayette Street in Manlius, New York, and on the corner of Route 11 and Taft Road at Sweetheart Corners for their drive-thru location. So make it out to Cafe Kubal today. Let them know that Wake Up Call sent you their way. So many thanks and much appreciation to Cafe Kubal. We got an awesome show set up for you. Appreciate your patience. WakeUpCallDT.com is of course the website to go to. Some of you are listening on there right now. That has all of our stuff, so you don't want to miss a minute of that. MonPazPopcorn.com's What's Poppin', bringing you the annoying moment of the week this morning, proudly presented by Carvel DeWitt. Lead, learn, evolve, ad-lib, and deliver is what the acronym stands for, and we will have the opportunity to speak on today's topic, which is what we have versus what we don't have, right? What we actually have in our life. I'll be talking about that, presented by Chick-fil-A Cicero and Chick-fil-A Clay. And then we'll hop into the Top Dog of the Week announcement. The Top Dog of the Week announced every Friday at 10 a.m. Eastern Time. Proudly presented by the wonderful and incredible people that take care of our furry-loving friends over at Canine Camp Dog Daycare and Canine Kampground Dog Boarding. Much appreciation, many thanks to them, to Lorraine, to Chad, to Heather, and the entire team. So many, many thanks to each and every single one of you working at Canine Camp Dog Daycare and Canine Kampground Dog Boarding. We appreciate you, we thank you, and I am always honored to work with you. And from there, we will hop into our final piece on a Friday, which is Pacer Pride. And Pacer Pride coming to you proudly presented in our exclusive multimedia marketing partnership with the fantastic people at Marywood University. We will have the opportunity to speak with Vinny today, not only on Marywood baseball, but on baseball in general, Major League Baseball. So we're going to talk with Vinny on his decision to return for his final season, as well as the history the team made last season, and we'll get into what the team's going to look like this season. Plus, we're going to jump into many Major League Baseball topics, continuing the conversation that we had with Papa Joe yesterday. Vinny will join me to speak on the Yankees, the Mets, Jacob deGrom, Aaron Judge, and how does he not have a contract extension right now? Should Shohei Ohtani be traded? As well as some of the trades that have already happened, including Juan Soto getting traded off to the Padres. So a lot of great stuff coming up here on Wake Up Call with Dan Tortora, where sports meets that thing called life. It's time for me to get into the annoying moment of the week, and this is going to be a very unique, I think they all are, but this is going to be for us a very unique, annoying moment of the week. And I'm excited to share it with you. And it's a very interesting story. So, here on the show, I'm an open book, and we're going to open that book this morning here on Wake Up Call with Dan Tortora, where sports meets that thing called life, as we get things kicked off with the annoying moment of the week, proudly presented by Carvel DeWitt. Here we go.
Dan Tortora proudly brings you...
Is that for real? Are you kidding me?
The annoying moment of the week.
I don't know how to respond to this.
Presented by Carvel DeWitt, 4322 East Genesee Street. It's what happy tastes like.
You have to be That's crazy. I guess so.
The annoying moment of the week, proudly presented by Carvel DeWitt, 4322 East Genesee Street in DeWitt, New York. It is what happy tastes like. So it's time for us to get into exactly the annoying moment of the week this week. And folks, bear with me on this one, because this was a very interesting experience, I think is what I'll call it. I'll call it an experience. It is an experience. I experienced something I had never experienced before. So let's hop right into it. The annoying moment of the week for this week. Here we go. So my back and my neck have been bugging me a little bit, right? And I felt like uncomfortable. Maybe I've been sleeping weird. I don't know. Something's going on, right? So I've been kind of sore. Not sore. I don't even know how to describe it. Just kind of like off, right? And I needed to like stretch it out, and I still need to stretch it out. But yeah, I've been kind of uncomfortable, right? So I was like, you know what? Let me go get a massage. I haven't had one in a long time. And, I got to find a place because I didn't have a place. So I'm looking for a place to get a massage. And, you call different places and try to figure out what you could do and whatnot. And so I called one place, and I did not feel safe of the establishment. And I'll leave that place unnamed. But I can't even remember the full name of it. But it was interesting. So I called this other place. The lady was really nice, and I was like, great, I'm going to come in, I'm going to get a massage. And they had nothing open until the weekend. And then they were like, well, we can do the middle of the day during the week. And I was like, okay. I always get confused by that, right? I'm like, is it somebody who doesn't want to, like, work that day and then is like, oh, well, he's a nice guy, let me just work him in here? Because it's like we don't have, like, you hear... It wasn't like we have no availability, but it was like, I don't know if we're available. And then it was like, boom, hey, we're available. We got something, I could take you in. And I was like, okay, great. So let's do this. Let me get over there. Let me, get situated here. So I go over to get my massage, and they were late. Okay. And I know how I feel when I'm late. So not a great feeling. So I go in, and I'm waiting, and they start to talk to me. And and you go in there, and obviously, they talk to you first, and then they leave the room, and, you got to take off your shirt and your pants and your socks and all that good stuff. So I'm sitting here waiting for, everything to get started, and she's just talking and talking and talking and talking. And I'm looking at the clock going like, I'm not paying for this money, or I'm not paying these minutes for this, So I'm sitting here like, okay, well, you're telling me all this stuff, and that's great. And she said, well, where does it hurt? I said, my neck, my neck's a little tight, my back's a little tight. And I want to focus on that and then say, hey, you know what? I'd like to work on my legs, my hands. I type a lot. And I didn't even get to that. And she's like, okay. I was like, well, my neck, my back a little bit. And she's like, where? And I pointed. And then I said, well, can you... I said, also my legs. And she's like, well, we're going to do the back and the neck right now. I was like, okay, well, I was kind of looking for like a full body massage where it's like, yeah, you could spend a lot of time on my neck and my back, but if you could still do my arms and my legs, like that would be great, And so she just kind of interrupted me and was like, okay, well, this is what we're going to do. And this is how we're going to do it. And I was like, okay, great. But I'm the customer. And she's like, well, we're going to work in these areas, and this is what you said first. And I was like, well, I didn't know there was rules to this thing. I would have said, neck, back, legs. I would have said it faster so that I could get it all in there and make sure that, I had all of them adhered to. And so she's doing this. She's, and so she's talking and whatever. And it's fine, right? It's fine. And we're having a conversation. This is why I do what I do. This is what you're going to have today. This is how your experience is going to be. This is what we're going to work on. And I was like, okay, great. Sounds wonderful. And then she says to me, well, does this make sense or something like that? And I was like, oh yeah. And she's like, yeah, because I know what I'm doing. And I was like, okay, well, there's no reason to be hostile, especially before a massage. Now she's been talking for like 15 minutes, and I'm thinking in my head, like, am I getting changed? Am I removing my garments so that I can, lay in this bed and have my massage? At what point is there going to be a massage? Is there going to be a massage? So I'm waiting for her to stop talking, and I'm just kind of nodding, but she's asking me questions, and not questions like I want you to answer the questions like I'm telling you what it is and I want you to just agree with me. And I got that vibe, like, okay, this lady just wants me to tell her that, like, she's great, she's awesome, she does nothing wrong, it's perfect. So I'm just going, yep, 15 minutes, 20 minutes, and I'm like, okay. At what point, I was like, are you going to stay in the room when I get changed? Like, what's happening here? I came here to relax. I need to relax. I haven't relaxed in a while, and I know that, which is probably why my neck and my back are tight. So I need to get a massage. That's what I came here for. So then she tries to turn the music on, and that doesn't work. I was like, okay, whatever. So she leaves the room, and, I get changed, and I get in the bed, and then she comes in, and she starts to work, and she said, I'm not going to massage your muscles. I'm going to speak to your body, and your body is going to speak to me. And I was like, well, my body is telling you to massage my muscles. Like, let's do some, I didn't come here for some Reiki, right? Where they charge you $100 and they don't touch you. Listen, there's, everybody's got to make their own racket, I guess, out there. And I feel you, right? But there's something weird, in my opinion, of doing this to somebody and being like, can you feel the energy? And it's like, can you just work on my muscles, right? Can you just rub them? Like, what would you do if your wife or your husband, if you're like, oh my gosh, I've been working all day, my feet hurt, and your husband was like, give me your feet, honey, and you put your foot like right here, right? You put your foot on his lap, and then he does this around it, but he doesn't touch it, and he's like, yeah, is your foot better now? Yeah. You know what I mean? Like, no, rub my foot. Right? When I'm like, oh man, I really love my head rubbed. You don't just like hover over the head and go, can you feel the rubbing? No. Rub it. No. You know what I mean? It's like, you can't do that when you're driving a car. You can't be like, I have to drive to the mall. And you get in the car and you start doing this to the wheel, and the wheel doesn't drive to the mall. Did you feel it? Can you feel that we're a moving car? Just go with me. Just go with me. Just go with me. Just go with me. It's like, and so, I mean, it's crazy. So she's like, I'm going to talk to your body. Your body's going to talk to me. I'm going to learn the history of your body. I was like, this seems like it should be an R. Kelly song, but not, I'm going to learn I could hear him like, I'm going to learn the history, of your body. So, I mean, I can't, I'm trying to go with her on this, but I'm struggling to go with her on this. So she starts to work, and I don't know what it is about the ladies out there, and I can feel your energy, but I don't know what it is about, some of the people out there. The last 2 massages I got, which is why I haven't gone back, and some people will be like, well, this is why I would go back, but see, I'm an upstanding citizen. They spend a lot of time on my butt. And I don't know, you know what I mean? It's like, I like my butt. I think my butt's tight, right? I like the way it looks in pants. I'm a proud fan of my butt. I have no qualms with my tush. But people, you know what I mean? When I go to get a massage, they spend a lot of time, right? I was like, well, my body, I said with my mouth that you need to work on my neck and my back, which is what I told the other lady who was touching up my butt a couple years ago. I said, my neck and see, this is the thing. This is what I want people to know. It's not just dudes that are nasty, right? And we're not all nasty. Some of us are nice. I'm a nice guy, and I don't need to tell you that. You could see that for yourself. But I felt like I needed to say it in that point because we're talking about people touching butts, and that's not how I am. I don't go up to a stranger and be like, hey. So, but I'm getting this massage. You're laying down in there, right? They put the oils on you and all that stuff. And, you feel like if you try to get away, you're going to slip. But you're there, and this, and I'm in this experience, and I verbally said, please work on my neck and my back. I don't even remember her doing that much with my neck initially till like the end. I was like, could you please just work on those areas? And she's like, I'm going to talk to your body. I'm like, well, right now you're talking to my butt. It's not saying anything. My body does not need my butt to be moved, adjusted. I'm good. Come up here. Let's work on this. Let's figure it out. So, so the whole time, and she's talking the whole time. When you go to get a massage, right, you want somebody to have like a sweet voice and say less, right? You want them to say less. That's what I'm looking for. And, that's what I need. I need a say less is what I need. Don't say as much. Just, hi. Is this good pressure? Mm-hmm. Great. Are you relaxed? Mm-hmm. Wonderful. That's what I want. I don't want like a, hey, I want to work on a movie. I'm going to be working on this movie. I'm doing a screenplay. And what did he say? As she learns your history, the hour-long massage becomes 40 minutes. Yeah, exactly, right? This woman spent 20 minutes talking to me in the beginning, telling me how great of a massage person she was. And she's like, tell me all these things I need to do with my body, and you need to do this, and you need to do that, and you didn't do this, and I'm going to make sure that you're, and it's fine. It's fine. Good? Right. You're trying to help. That's fine. So she's working on the body at the massage. For those of you tuning in, this is the annoying moment of the week, probably presented by Carvel DeWitt. But so I'm getting this massage, and she's working on it, and just don't say a lot to me. She's talking the whole time. She's talking the whole time. Now, I don't know if y'all get buck when you're out there getting massages. If you just go full commando, I do not, right? I keep the skivvies on. So, because nobody needs a free show. Very proud, no one needs a free show. So, I'm laying in the bed, right? And I am who I am. And so I had some Spider-Man stuff on my skivvies, right? I had some Spider-Man love on there because I'm a Spider-Man fan. And then as she's massaging me, talking the whole time, she goes, "Are you the spider?" And I was like, and this woman's probably like in her 40s. And I was like, what? She's like, "Are you the spider?" She said, "There's a person that lives in this area, in this neighborhood, that refers to himself as the spider. Do you have a spider on your car?" That's how she started. She said, "Do you have a spider on your car?" I was like, "No." She's like, "You don't have a web on your car?" I was like, "No." She's like, "Are you sure?" I was like, "Unless a spider built one, yes, I'm sure." And she's like, "Okay, because there's a spider guy in my neighborhood, and he calls himself the Spider, and he thinks he's Spider-Man." And I was like, "No, I'm just a fan of the movies." And she's like, "I think most people are." I'm like, why is every answer that I give you wrong? Like, you're argumentative, right? I came here to relax. I feel like I'm fighting with someone who's not my girlfriend, but touching my butt. So, you know what I mean? It's like, I don't like fighting with the girl that I'm dating, let alone fighting with a stranger who's touching my butt for free, mind you, and accusing me of being a man called the Spider and wanting to. And if he lives in your neighborhood, don't you know what he looks like? Or does he always shield his face? Is this guy like one of these mystery people from like a Kevin Hart movie? I mean, I don't understand it. So, anywho, so I'm here. I don't know why I chose Kevin Hart. I was thinking like comedies, people that shield their faces. I don't know. Will Ferrell movies, whatever. So I'm in this thing, and she's asking me if I'm the spider. I tell her no. She goes, "Okay, good." I mean, I don't know. Like if I had said that I was the spider, if she would stop the massage immediately, because it sounded like she maybe did not feel comfortable around the spider. But he nobody knows who he is. He's kept everything under wraps, so shout out to him for that. The spider, your secret is still safe with me, I guess. I don't know. I don't want to say your secret's safe with me because I don't know you, but whatever. So that's there, and that's exciting, fun, and wonderful for everybody that's involved. So, yeah, so she keeps doing it. She's doing the massage, and then she's like, "Oh, did you feel that pop?" And I didn't. She's like, "Yeah, it popped right there. Your shoulder was out of socket." And I'm like, I feel like I would know if my shoulder was like over here and not here, right? I have broad shoulders, but I think I would know if it was or so where it was at. She's like, "Oh, and you had 6 ribs out." I just got your 6 ribs back. You got 6 ribs back, and you got your shoulder. I'm doing all this stuff. And then she's saying to me, does it feel good? And I was like, yeah, like if something felt better, I was like, yeah, that feels better. And she's like, yeah, I know it does, because I know my job and I know what I'm doing. And I'm like, okay, most of the questions you're asking me are rhetorical. And then she asked me, she's like, does that hurt? I was like, no. She's like, would you lie to me? And I was like, why do I feel like we're dating? But I don't want to. I'm not attracted. I'm not here for that. I'm literally here for someone to help my muscles. It's it. Help my muscles, help my body, help my mind, my spirit. Just work with me, okay? That's it. I'm just asking you to work with me. What if I came on here to do the show and I was like, I'm not going to talk on the microphone. I'm going to make it feel. I'm going to speak to the microphone's going to speak to me, and I'm going to feel its energy. Now, I have to talk on the microphone. So, good morning to Alan. Should have said yes. Fighting crime. Yeah, fighting crime does work out the body. Now getting work on my neck. Yeah, I should have told her I was a spider, but she felt like it seemed like she had an issue with the spider. Now I don't want to make this massage any worse than it already was. I don't even know if I'd call it a massage, because she said she wasn't a massage therapist. She was more of like helping people with their body. I don't know. She was educating me the whole time. So she's telling me all this stuff. We're talking about all these things. She's claiming to be helping my body, which, whatever. And we're working on it. We're working on it. We're working on it. We're doing it. And, we're trying to help me, trying to help my neck, right? And so she's pulling my arm. She's pulling me over here. She's moving me over there. She pulled on my pinky toe, and she's like, does that hurt? And I was like, does ever pulling on someone's pinky toe in the opposite direction, does that ever not hurt? Are you ever like, oh man, I love when you dislocate my pinky, because it makes me want to walk right now. So she's pulling on my pinky, and then she's like, oh, well, that's not, wait, no, okay. And then she keeps pulling on it. She's like, that didn't, no, oh, look, it popped now. And she keeps talking to me like, oh, I did that for you. Did you feel it? And I'm like, I didn't, but do I say that I did so that this will continue? But then she told me not to lie to her. I don't know the rules of this massage. I don't. So it ends. We're done. I get up, I come out, and she tells me, like, walk it off. Like, walk the massage off. Again, I'm very confused. So I come out and I start walking. And I walk by her, and she's in this, like, little cubby hole area. And I believe she's on her phone. And she's, like, on her phone by the sink. And I walk by once, and I walk by again, and I walk by again. And I'm like, whatever, I'm going to go to the bathroom, because I have to go to the bathroom. I've been laying there for God knows how long, being harassed. So, like, does this feel good? Yeah, because it's supposed to, or I'm like, she's like, does this feel good? Yeah. Well, and I said to her, she goes, does this help? Is this feel better? I was like, no, it's still tight. She's like, well, it's going to be tight. This is only the first session, and I know what I'm doing, so it's not going to feel totally good, but it feels better, right? And I'm like, sure, fine. So I'm in the bathroom. I come out of the bathroom. She sees me, and she's like, oh, don't you feel so much better? We did this. Your shoulder was out. It was out of socket. She tells me again, your ribs were out. You got 6 ribs back. You could probably breathe more now. Now I need you to do this. I need you to do this. And I need you to go home. I need you to buy one of those giant balls. I need you to just lay on the ball. Just put your body on the ball. And chairs are $1 billion industry. And, we shouldn't be sitting in chairs, and your body wasn't meant to be sitting. And so you just need to lay on the ball. And then she turns around and she goes, and like that, okay? She made this noise, like that, throws her arms up in the air and hugs me. And then proceeds to walk with me out, and because she wasn't like letting me leave easily. And then she walks with me out, and we're still walking, and we're walking. And so now I'm out. I'm outside. And, well, I'm in the middle part now, right by the front door. And she's still talking to me, saying, like, this is what you have to do, and make sure that you come back, and we need to keep working on you. And I'm like, I'm thinking in my head, I'm like, I just want to go home. I just want to go home. I'm not coming back to this lady. There's no way I'm coming back to this lady. Right? She's the second person that felt up my butt. Second. She spoke 45 minutes at least. I don't know if she didn't say anything for 5 minutes. She talked to me about the book she's working on. She talked to me about the movie she's working on and what she's doing with her movie and all that stuff. She talked to me about, you know, what she's going to be working on, what she's going to be doing, you know, what she's currently working on now, the grant that she has, and this and that. And, you know, and the thing is, like, I'll entertain people, right? Not entertain people, but I'll listen, right? I'm going to listen. But I'm here to get a massage, you know? And it's, you know, and maybe she, and you know what? And I think about it and I feel bad. I'm like, maybe she needed somebody to talk to, right? Maybe she needed somebody to talk to. And I'm thinking here, saying to myself, okay, well, like, I'm, you know, then I'm here to help. And then I'm also thinking to myself, but I paid for this, right? I paid money for this. I don't feel better. I feel a little bit better, but I'm sitting here just waiting for it to start. And she's like, well, we went a little bit over, but I'm not going to charge you. And I'm sitting here like, well, you also spent the first 20 minutes talking to me. You spent the entire time pretty much talking to me. You told me not to lie to you. You asked me multiple questions. And here's the thing. And, you know, Greg, I love that you brought it up. She forgot my cup of water. I was walking out the door and she goes, do you want your bottle of water? She goes, oh, I keep getting water for people and I keep not giving it to them. And I was like, no, I'm good. I have water in the car. I just wanted to go home. I want to go home. You know, does my back feel great? Did I feel a little bit better? Yeah. And then she goes, well, you're going to go home and you're going to hurt. And I was like, okay, well, that's great. That's what I came to you for this. I came to you for this. I haven't had the best massages in the world. I'm still chasing the best one, right? I haven't had the best massage, but there's ones I've come out of where I'm so relaxed and I come out of it and my whole body just feels like it's like my soul, right? It's just like there and it's like untouched and there's no pain and it just feels like one solid energy, right? And I'm good. I did not feel that way this time. And I don't feel it this morning. I feel like I was talked at, not talked to, talked the whole time. I'm sitting here like, what? You know what? Why don't I just record this? Why don't we just do a show? You know what I mean? Because I came here to just rest and relax, maybe fall asleep, maybe think about something, you know? But then I'm sitting here going, man, it would be so great to have a girlfriend rub my back right now, right? If you could go home and just say, honey, my back hurt. Then I went to the massage therapist and she hugged me and made me feel really uncomfortable. And I'm not about that life. And I don't know why she hugged me at the end. I have no idea why she hugged me at the end. You know, and made that noise and threw her hands up in the air and just like grabbed me and hugged me. I will never go back there. And I really just need to start talking to people. Yeah, it's a one and done experience, Greg. Yes, very much so. So I need to start talking to people and ask them where they go because I keep finding, my mom said, first thing out of my mom's mouth, she goes, goods aren't free, baby. They're not free. I work too hard for this. My grant of rights are high. So with that being said, that's my annoying moment of the week. Someone find me a massage therapist. Can you please find me somebody to be good to me and kind to me and wonderful? It is hard enough to find a good woman out there. And now I can't find even a good massage therapist, right? Why is crazy everywhere, right? And I'm not saying men aren't crazy because I know some men are crazy. But where is the normalcy? We come to you for peace. And all this woman did was confuse me, talk to me a lot, tell me how great she is, and ask me rhetorical questions. Does it feel good? Yeah, well, it should, because I know what I'm doing. Okay, all right, relax. You know, that's fine. Whatever you got to do. It helped you, right? Right? You feel better, right? And I'm just like, can I go home now? Can I please go home now? So, Someone please find me a good massage therapist. Many thanks in advance. It's a scary world out there, folks. We'll take a step aside for a fast break. This has been the Annoying Moment of the Week, proudly presented by Carvel DeWitt, 4322 East Genesee Street in DeWitt, New York. It is what happy tastes like. We'll be back inside of the Cafe Kubal studios after this for Lead, proudly presented by Chick-fil-A Cicero and Chick-fil-A Clay.
Carvel DeWitt, it's what happy tastes like. Do you know why? Because we make ice cream. Creamy, rich, flavorful ice cream. Not yogurt or iced milk like some of our competitors. Ice cream. Fresh, by hand, daily. For the calorie conscious, we have something new for you. Our new Carvelite. Same great flavor, creaminess, and texture of our regular ice cream with only 35 calories an ounce. So whether you want an ice cream cake, flying saucer, dasher, carvalanche, hard or soft ice cream, we will satisfy your craving with our fresh, handmade regular or new Carvelite ice cream. Carvel DeWitt. It's what happy tastes like.
Cafe Kubal offers same-day local delivery of our products, offering no delivery charge for Onondaga County. Shop cafekubal.com for fresh roasted coffee beans, cold brew, travel mugs, and all your essential Cafe Kubal needs. Cafe Kubal, coffee for the soul.
The Wildcat Sports Pub in Camillus, New York is located on 3680 Milton Avenue in the Home Depot Plaza. It is your family-friendly sports bar and restaurant. Folks, some sports bars aren't family-friendly. Some family-friendly restaurants are not sports bars. The Wildcat Sports Pub in Camillus, New York is proud to be both. It is that marriage that you've been looking for years. The Wildcat Sports Pub is your home base for your sports bar and restaurant needs, games for the kids, indoor and outdoor activities, and enough things on the menu to come back every single week and get to try something new. They're open Sundays from noon to 8 p.m., Monday through Wednesday, 11 a.m. to 11 p.m., and Thursday through Saturday from 11 a.m. to midnight. For reservations and party information, call 315-487-2222 for the Wildcat family-friendly sports pub and restaurant. Welcome back here to Wake Up Call with Dan Tortora inside of the Cafe Kubal studios, hanging out with you on Facebook.com, YouTube.com, and MixLR.com, all / Wake Up Call DT. Hope you're having yourself a tremendous morning this morning as we have some fun here on the broadcast, as we always do, and always happy to be here with you. So hope you're having a good time. Hope you're enjoying your morning and having a fantastic Friday. If you're not, we're going to make it better. If you are, well, we're going to keep making it good then. So with that being said, it is time to jump into our second signature segment that we do every Friday, and that being Lead, Learn, Evolve, Ad-lib, and Deliver. The acronym that is here for you, that has been here for you since the end of 2019, right before the pandemic. I created this by the grace of God. He gave me the idea. I'm convinced of that. I said, I want to do something with Chick-fil-A. I want to create something. And I came up with this acronym, and it just fit, right? Lead, Learn, Evolve, Ad-lib, and Deliver. And just very happy to be able to do this, right? So I love the acronym, very excited about it, and excited about what we get to do here on Wake Up Call with Dan Tortora, where sports meets that thing called life. So with that being said, here is Lead, Learn, Evolve, Ad-lib, and Deliver. Today's topic, what we have, right? Well, we have. And the question of what we have is, it comes up, what do we focus on, right? And we've talked about that before. What are we focusing on in our lives? So let's discuss what we have versus what we don't have. Because a lot of times out there, I feel like we spend time focusing on what we don't have, as opposed to what we have. We think about, oh, well, we want this and we want this and we want that, and they have that and they have this. And I feel like it's a source of a lot of negative energy and sadness to talk about what we don't have. So, what do you focus on? What's your main focus in life? Do you focus on what you have? Or do you focus on what you don't have? You know? Oh, I got a great mom, I got a great dad, I got great siblings, but I don't have that boyfriend, right? Or I have a great wife and I have great kids, but, you know, my job is this, that, and whatever. Or I have a great husband and he does everything in the world for me, but he doesn't make millions of dollars, so I can't buy the dresses that I want to buy. You know, what do you focus on? That's a question. You know, what becomes your focus? Because what you focus on is what you become, right? You become your thoughts. You become where you focus your energy. And I don't know if people fully understand that. But you know how they say you are what you eat? Well, in the soul world, I think it's the same. You are what you ingest. You are what you take in. So what do you focus on in your life? Do you focus on the beautiful things that you have? Or do you focus on what you don't have and let that drive you? Because society, to me, is always saying, well, you don't have this, you better get it. Well, you don't have that, you better get it. Well, they have that, you better get it. And listen, I'm not perfect. I'll sit here in front of you today and say, I have a fantastic career. I have a fantastic life. And I have complained many times, well, I don't have the lady to share it with, right? I don't have that amazing woman to share it with. Well, I have a great mom. I have a good relationship with my mom and my dad. I have a fantastic dog. Got a great house. More than enough space for me and to raise a family, right? I am blessed in so many ways. I work with fantastic people. I do what I love and I love what I do. I'm just getting started. I have energy. I am excited. But when I come home, there's nobody there to share it with. And I would focus on that. And I do focus on that. Mom, why do I have to come home and have no one to share it with? You know what my mom says? Wake up every day and appreciate what you got, Daniel. Wake up every day and appreciate what you have. Because what you have is precious. You know, and I look at some of my friends and it's like, okay, well, you know, he seems to have a wonderful family. But he just lost his job. Right? Or he loves what he does. And he's doing more than just that because he's got to pay the bills. Right? Or my buddy that's always there for me and his job pays him a lot of money. But he doesn't like the job. You know? So he's got the money, but he doesn't enjoy what he does. You know, it's we look over the fence so many times in life. What does she have? What does he have? What do they have that I don't have? Instead of thinking about what you actually have. You know, if I get up in the morning and I say to God, yeah, you gave me all this stuff, but the love of my life isn't sleeping next to me. Why did I marry somebody in the past that was so mean, that was so detached, that was such a liar? Why did I marry that and other people have found good women? And God's looking at me going, well, you know why you married her? Because if you didn't, you wouldn't have had this house. Because if you didn't, you might still be living in an apartment, spending way too much money. Not because you're not responsible, but because in your head you weren't ready to get a house. Well, you wouldn't have Lily. Because you went to look for Lily, you went to look for a dog together. So you wouldn't have had Lily. So think about that, Daniel. Think about that. You know? And it starts to hit home. When you have those conversations with yourself, it starts to hit home. That if you didn't go through the bad stuff you went through, right? If I didn't have an experience in traditional radio that made me go, yeah, I'm not doing this with these people anymore. I'm not letting this happen to me. I'm not letting people to speak to me like this. I'm not letting people not give me a contract to do me dirty. You know, then I wouldn't have started my company when I did. So when you look back on your life, you have to ask yourself the questions of what am I doing? How am I doing it? Why am I doing it? And would I have done this if not for what I call the tragedy happening in my life? Life is not perfect. Life is not perfect. And I truly believe that we learn from, well, we should learn from everything, including those times that stink. We learn from them. We learn from those moments. We learn from those moments. Because without adversity, you don't build character. Without trying times, you don't understand what matters to you and what you're willing to fight for. What you have didn't just come to you. It came through something. It came through something. We all have to go through something to get to where we are today. Because if we don't, then we're left wondering. And I'm still doing it. I'm still doing it this morning. Well, I don't have this. I don't have this. Why don't I have this? There's things I've been thinking about for a while now, right? Why doesn't this work out for me? Why doesn't this ever seem to work out for me? This one thing never seems to work out, and God's looking at me going, you got Lily, you got your parents, they're alive, they're healthy, your mom just got good news health-wise, your dad's doing well, he looks good, God willing, everything's good with him too. You have friends that love you deeply, some of them reach out to you every single day. You work with fantastic businesses that believe in you. You've built your brand. You've built your name. You've built yourself in the community. You are building bridges all over the country, all over the world. You're doing what you love and loving what you do. Your reputation precedes you, and it's positive. You've exercised restraint in times where you didn't know if you could. You've grown as a person. You know what you want. You know what you won't settle for. You have raised the bar on your life to the point that when you don't meet it, you call yourself out. My life is great. It's great. And I'm sitting here going, well, why doesn't that person like me? Why doesn't that person come through? Why does that person ignore me? Why does that person treat me like I don't matter? Why does that person go silent? And I want to know the answers. And I'm saying to God, why don't I have these things? And God's saying, I back the truck up, then the next truck, then the other truck, then the 18-wheeler, then the 36-wheeler, for goodness sakes, filled with blessings. And you want to know why you don't have these two things? Well, number one, do you really want this thing? No. And then the other thing, it's not your time yet. It's not your time. I've wanted to be a dad my whole life. Except when I'm older, I can't wait to be a dad. When I'm older, and I'm not when I'm older, but you know what I mean. When I'm like not in college, in my brain, I was like, I'm not, you know, and not that it's, you know, some people have kids in high school and get kids in college, but I was like, I want to go to school, finish up my school, and then, start a family. I've always wanted to start a family. So in my head, I'm like, okay, I'm 36. I'm going to be 37 this year, and I don't have kids yet. And I told myself growing up, I have Lily. So I don't want to say I don't have kids. I don't have human babies. I do have my kid. Love you, honey. And so I'm sitting here saying to myself, well, I don't have kids, and my parents and I are 30 years apart. And growing up, I said, it's not bad, but I don't want to be 30 years apart from my kids. I want to be less than that. Like I said, that's what I strive for. I strive for less than that. I strive to, maybe we have, I don't know, 15 years, 25 years, whatever. So not 15 years. That would make me 15 years old. Sorry. So maybe like 25 years apart is what I was thinking. 25, 26, whatever. But under 30. And now I'm 37, right? And I used to get mad about it. I had a really tough time last year. I broke down. I was talking to my dad, and I said, Dad, I want to be a father. And, and of course my mom and my dad say, yeah, in the right situation. And I echo that. I don't want to be a dad to just any kid like, hey, let's have a baby and not be committed to each other. No, I want to have a family where mom and dad and the children all are together and they all love each other and it's a good household. And it doesn't mean you don't have problems, but that you're together and you love each other. You're not there because you have to be. You're not there because you're forced to be, and you're not there. So, I want to have a family in the traditional sense, right? My mom and my dad were there. And I want that for everybody, right? As long as your parents are good and not abusive and whatnot. I wouldn't want you to be in a house with somebody who's not treating you good. But the hope is that, the parents that had them stay to raise them. That's the hope. And raise them with morals and values and hopefully God and faith and goodness and just general care and personal responsibility and care for the community and for your neighbor. And manners, right? Manners. Where did they go? So I feel like some of them are coming back, though. I do feel like some's coming back. Or hasn't left, however you want to look at it. But to me, I've spent a lot of time saying, I don't have a wife and I don't have kids. Why, God? Why are there no women out there that that don't lie, that don't cheat, that don't flirt, that don't steal, that don't do crazy things and make no sense and scare the heck out of you, that don't scream at you, that don't threaten you, that don't ignore you, that don't silence you, that don't treat you like you're nothing or that you're easily replaceable? Why can't I find a woman out there who just loves me, that would never even fathom the thought, even put together the thought of losing me? They couldn't fathom it. Couldn't fathom it. Could not, would not, should not, will not. Why can't I just find that person who loves me? Exclamation point. And I think a lot of people ask that question. I'm not the only one that asked that question. I think a lot of people ask that question. And when we're asking that question, I think it's important to understand that that answer may not be answered for a long time. That may not be answered for a long time. And you got to be okay with that. Because when God prepares your table, He's got to set it. You got to put the forks out, the napkins out. You got to put the flour in the middle, right? Your centerpiece out. The plates, the glasses, everything's got to be put there, right? Something over top the table. When God sets your table in front of your enemies, mind you, in front of your enemies, mind you, it takes time. So you may not have something that you want right now, but don't neglect what you do have, right? I thought somebody was one of my best friends. Thought he might be my best friend. And not only did he lie to my face, which is forgivable, but after lying, made a minimal effort to call me and then never tried again. And see, I know how I am as a person. And I know that not everybody's the same. But if I hurt somebody and I knew I hurt somebody and I had done something wrong, and on top of what I had done there, I had done a lot of things over time, and I'd been really hard on that person, I wouldn't quit. I'd give it all I had. I'd probably call multiple times a day. Every other day. I'd leave messages, I'd text. Heck, I'd write a letter. Maybe. But it was phone call, no. No message, no text message. One call the next week, and then a month goes by. Well, I guess he doesn't want to talk to me. If you do wrong by somebody, and then you put in no effort or minimal effort to try and correct that wrong, which you've shown that person that they were wondering, now they know it's true. When they say to themselves, how could my friend, my girlfriend, my boyfriend, my fiance, how could they hurt me and not care? Well, they just showed you that they don't care. Because effort, to me, is everything. When you love somebody, when you love something, you'll do everything. When you don't love it, or you think you love it and realize you don't, you won't do anything. You'll just sit there, expecting the person that you hurt to fix it. The person that you did wrong, you're now expecting to do right. You broke the lamp, but you're sitting there in the dark, waiting for the lamp to fix itself, or for somebody else to fix it. You broke the lamp, and you're sitting in the dark, waiting for somebody else to fix it. Well, let me tell you something. If you broke the lamp and you're sitting in the dark, I hope you fix that lamp, or else you're never going to be able to see what you lost. And by the time you fix that lamp and you turn the light on, they're probably gone. Appreciate what you have, because nothing is guaranteed. And somebody may love you to the high heavens, but what you do to them, for them, without them, against them, in front of them, behind them, can affect everything you think that you could never lose. Focus on what you have, and if you don't appreciate it, let it go. Also understand, if you don't appreciate it, you might not have a chance to let it go, because it might just let go of you. This is LEAD. Learn, evolve, ad-lib, deliver. Learn where you can be better. Evolve in those places. Ad-lib, things are not always going to go your way. And deliver on your words with action. Actions do, I didn't know if this was always true, but I've lived it. Actions do speak louder than words. Actions speak so much louder than words, because anybody can say something. And what I've learned in life is a lot of people say and very few people do. A lot of people say and very few people do. It was funny. I had somebody tell me recently, well, I told you that I love you. And I said, yeah, but have you showed me that? I said, you know how many women have told me that they love me? 10? Where are they? You can say whatever you want to say. But what will you do? That decides who you are. Everybody talks. Everybody talks. I shouldn't say everybody talks because some people are humble and I don't like to talk about myself. So I'll just say this to you. Some people talk. I'm concerned with the people that listen. That listen. And that do what they say they're going to do. You need to look at what you have instead of yelling at God for what you don't have. And when you look at what you have and you appreciate what you have, you need to understand that that might not be there forever. So not only to focus on what we have and not what we don't have, but that when we focus on what we have, we appreciate it. Because it doesn't matter how much somebody loves you. If you don't appreciate them, when you finally fix that lamp, you're still in the dark. With that being said, on Wake Up Call with Dan Tortora, or they're not there anymore. Right? Talk about people seeing the light. Seeing the light. I didn't see it. You know? One of the things that I can't stand that people say is people don't know what they have until it's gone. They don't understand what they have until it's gone. And I always tell people, well, when I'm gone, I'm gone. If a boss didn't appreciate me, I never went back. If a girlfriend didn't appreciate me, I made a mistake here and there. You know, going, I should go back. And then I realized quickly, I went back for like a month, and I was like, yeah, I'm not doing this. Not doing that. You try to go back and I'm a fixer. And I don't want to deal with that, right? You realize that if something was willing to let you go, it doesn't want you. It doesn't want you. And if it doesn't want you, then what are you doing? Right? What are you doing hanging around things and people and places that don't want you there? I know when I'm not wanted. I know when I'm not cared for. I know when I'm silenced. And I can promise you that in those moments, there is a time and a place to fix that lamp. But that's your lamp. That's your life. And if you can't see the light, I am a firm believer because I know this. I know this. I know this. I always want to help people fix their lamps. I always do. But I want to tell you something. Unless somebody learns how to fix their own lamp, they will constantly let you down. And that's business, and that's friendship, and that's family, and that's romantic. I'm not saying don't help other people. Do that. But understand when you're helping and you're helping and you're helping and you're helping, is that person ever fixing their own lamp? Because if they're not, you have to realize that. Right? There's a difference between tutoring someone and doing their homework. I have been a tutor that turns into, why am I doing your homework? People have to do their own homework or they'll never learn. And unfortunately, by the time they learn, the lesson might have already... They'll learn the lesson. but they still might fail the class. I've never, ever lived in a world of let me not appreciate what I have until it's gone. Because it will go. And that doesn't make that person mean. And I don't like that people do that. What would Jesus do, Dan? What would Jesus do? Jesus would not tell me to sit here and continue to be abused by you. I've loved, I've tried, I've helped, I've done everything I could. But Jesus wouldn't be like, hey, this friend treats you like garbage. Sit there with him. You know? He doesn't tell me to hate him. But I can imagine that Jesus isn't like, I want you to have a heart attack. People prey on that. Right? They prey on that. They pray that you pray. They prey on that you pray. They prey on the fact that you pray. P-R-E-Y to the P-R-A-Y. They want you to deal with their BS, so they just keep playing on your, well, aren't you a man of God? Don't you love God? If you loved God, you would know that God forgives everybody. Yeah. Forgiveness and stupidity are two different things. Forgiveness and forgetting are two different things. Forgiveness and I'm going to keep dealing with are two different things. And hearing somebody say they're sorry about the same thing over and over and over and over and over and over again and never changing it is not a real apology. It's not. A real apology is I'm sorry and then it doesn't happen again. When people let go of what they have, it's because they either don't want it or they're just really messing up. But the people I want to be around, the businesses I want to work with, the friends I want to have, the family I want to break bread with, the woman that will finally, God willing, love me in a way that I'll feel like I'm on, you know, I'm in some world of my own with her. And hopefully have kids with her. This world takes, when you take away from yourself, and it gives. But when you take away from yourself, see, there's so much, and I know we got to get into the top dog of the week, but there's so much here this morning. I can feel it. I feel like everything I'm saying, I'm like, yeah, but what about this, Dan? And you got to mention that. And you got to put that in there. How you act today decides your today, and it also decides your tomorrow potentially. So if your boss doesn't appreciate you, they may never do that. If your parents don't appreciate you, they may never do that. If your friend doesn't appreciate you, they may never do that. If your spouse, they may never do that. But I want to ask you a question here. Are you willing to live your life? And I know some people are, which is sad. But are you willing to live your life knowing that what you've surrounded yourself with doesn't really care if you're there? We all break our lamp. And I met a lot of people that are like, can someone clean this up? Not me, somebody else. And the parents that have done that for those kids, they're adults now. And they're horrifying. My mom and my dad said, here, honey, you get the broom and I'll get the scooper here. And then as I got older, my parents said, okay, you do both. And now my parents don't even ask me. They're like, oh, he owns his own house. If he drops something, I'm sure he cleans it up because we trust him. Because he's shown us that he cleans up his messes. right? When he makes a mistake, when he has a bad habit, when he does something, he cleans it up. But not everybody does. Not everybody appreciates what they have. And words, they really don't matter without actions. It's like having words without actions is like putting ketchup on a hot dog without the hot dog. You're putting ketchup in the bun and you're eating a ketchup sandwich because there's no hot dog. Words without actions is like eating a hot dog with no hot dog and just the ketchup or the mustard. You have something, but you don't have everything. Everybody's a work in progress. And if we're doing it right, we continue to always be a work in progress. But I want you to be around people that appreciate, love, honor, are thankful for, cherish, embrace, and care for what we have. Because what you have is a blessing. And sometimes blessings, when not treated right, well, we all learn lessons. And when you don't take care of something, right? I got Lily. Oh my gosh, I got a puppy. She's great. What if I never fed her? What if I never gave her water? What if I never took her outside? What if I never showed her any love? She wouldn't be healthy. You can't just get a blessing. You have to nurture it. You have to nurture it. Lead, learn, evolve, ad-lib, and deliver. Proudly presented by Chick-fil-A Cicero and Chick-fil-A Clay. I could go an entire show on this, I believe. I might have to do something else today. I'm feeling it. So with that being said, we thank Chick-fil-A Cicero and Chick-fil-A Clay. We thank you for being a part of our lead segment, Learn, Evolve, Ad-lib, and Deliver. We'll take a step aside for a fast break. When we come back, Wake Up Call with Dan Tortora will present our top dog of the week from Canine Camp Dog Daycare and Canine Kampground Dog Boarding. Avicoli's, located on the corner of Route 57 and Wetzel Road in Liverpool, New York, has been your trusted neighbor for decades. Located just steps from Liverpool High School, we're happy to have the Liverpool Warriors on-site, on-location broadcast at Avicoli's through Wake Up Call with Dan Tortora every single month, featuring student athletes, coaches, and administration throughout the year from Liverpool High School. Head out to Avicoli's today on the corner of Route 57 and Wetzel Road in Liverpool, New York, open Tuesday through Sunday for lunch, dinner, and drinks. We'd love to see you out there. And of course, you can call them at 315-622-5100 for takeout, delivery, and catering. That's 315-622-5100. And also find them on myavicolis.com. That's myavicollis.com. Having peace of mind when you're out of town that your furry-loving friend is safe and sound means taking them to Canine Kampground, because we all know that when it comes to the love of our pets, it goes well beyond the call of duty to make sure they're safe and sound. Right, Lily? So take a ride to 242 Johnson Street in East Syracuse, New York, and see Canine Kampground and where your dog will be staying, in the classic cabin, the executive cabin, the grand cabin, or of course the luxury cabin, because if you know Lily, you know she loves luxury. Now you don't have to wait to the last minute to find a family member or a friend that'll take your dog for a few days. Call Canine Kampground at 315-299-4013. That's 315-299-4013. Their drop-off and pickup times are Monday through Sunday. Check K9Kampground.com for more information. That's the letter K, the number 9, and Kampground spelled with a K.com. K9Kampground.com.
When you're going out of town, bring your dog to Canine Kampground.
PB&J's Lunchbox, the food truck that you love finding all throughout central and upstate New York, now has a street-side cafe. So when you're craving their traditional favorites as well as their out-of-box amazing menu items, you can now head to 663 Old Liverpool Road in Liverpool, New York. Located just minutes from the highway, the thruway, Destiny USA, and Onondaga Lake Parkway, PB&J's Lunchbox Street-Side Cafe is there for you Monday through Saturday from 9 a.m. to 7 p.m., serving breakfast, lunch, and dinner all throughout the day. Get breakfast for dinner, dinner for lunch, whatever you fancy, including their award-winning grilled peanut butter and jelly sandwich. Find them at 663 Old Liverpool Road in Liverpool, New York. PB&J's Lunchbox, where we love to know what's in your lunchbox. As a patient, what do we want? To be cared for, to be listened to, and to have someone walk us through the process on our path to victory. Victory Sports Medicine and Orthopedics does all of those things beautifully, with Dr. Mark Petropoli leading the team on 791 West Genesee Street in Skaneateles, New York, located minutes from beautiful Skaneateles Lake. Whatever your injury may be from head to toe, preventative care, rehab, physical therapy, laser therapy, and surgery are all available at Victory Sports Medicine and Orthopedics, where they care about us, they listen to us, and they understand that everyone's path to victory is a little bit different. Let them help you on yours by calling 315-685-7544 to make your appointment today. That's 315-685-7544. And find out more information at victorysportsmedicine.com. Welcome back here to Wake Up Call with Dan Tortora inside of the Cafe Kubal studios, hanging out with you where sports meets that thing called life, and Cafe Kubal here for you on 3501 James Street, 324 West Water Street, 401 South Salina Street in Syracuse, New York, inside of their double-decker brown-striped building. Awesome. I call it the Manlius Welcome Center. Awesome experience out there, right where all the roads converge into Manlius on 343 Fayette Street in Manlius, New York, now with an expanded parking lot. And, of course, you could find them on the corner of Route 11 and Taft Road at Sweetheart Corners in North Syracuse. So make sure you go out there to their drive-through location and let them know that Wake Up Call sent you to fill your cup up right. So make sure you go out there and you do that at Cafe Kubal. Many thanks to Cafe Kubal for all that they do in our community and beyond. With that being said, it's time to jump into the top dog of the week. Very excited, always excited to bring you the top dog of the week. Proudly presented by the fantastic team at Canine Camp Dog Daycare and Canine Kampground Dog Boarding. Top dog of the week for this week, folks. Well, see, there's a bunch of different places that I can go with this and who the top dog of the week is going to be, because there's a lot of great people, right? There's a lot of fantastic people and kind people and whatnot. And I'm going to say that my top dog of the week for this week is my friend Jay. And I'm going to call him the top dog of the week because he took the time. See, he called me to check in on me. And we had a conversation about something that was important. And he got back in touch with me. And we were talking about it. And it was something that mattered to him. And people that know him don't always know his personality. And they don't always understand his personality. And, I tell people all the time, I said, he'd run it through a wall for me. I know that he would. He'd take a bullet for me. He's a good person. He's a good person that might have an exterior that you don't understand. But when push comes to shove, he's there for the people that he really cares about. And I appreciate that. And his heart is kind and his heart is good. So he's my top dog of the week. Proudly presented by Canine Camp Dog Daycare and Canine Kampground Dog Boarding, because he has been there for me and he has helped me through many tough times over the years. He's never asked for anything. He's never showcased the fact that he's helped me. He never asked for the spotlight in helping me. He's always been there. He appreciates our friendship. He appreciates our connection. He appreciates our bond. And he shows me that. I'm not saying that in a cocky way. I'm saying I feel appreciated. He's my top dog of the week because if you have a friend or a family member or a girlfriend or a boyfriend or significant other, husband, wife, whatever, kid, pastor, priest, teacher, mentor, if you have somebody that will call you up just to check in on you, make sure you're okay, to see how you're doing, you have a true blessing. And he's my top dog of the week because the way that he helped me really helped me to calm down, helped me to see things, helped me to relax, helped me to remember what I deserve and what I shouldn't put up with, reminded me of who I am, was nicer to me than I was being to myself. And I appreciate that. We should all, and God willing we do, should all have friends that love us, and family that loves us, and a significant other, a partner romantically that loves us, and teachers and bosses and whatnot that love us. And I know that we don't all have this, or we don't all have it at the same time, but I pray and I hope that you have somebody that when you tell them, hey, this is going on in my life, and it's hard, or it hurts, or I'm sad, or I'm upset, or I'm angry, or I'm frustrated, or I'm confused, and that person calls you up and says, hey, I thought about what you said to me. Can we talk about it? I want to talk about it. Are you in a place where you feel like you can talk about it? Because I don't want to force you to talk about it. Do you feel like you can talk about this? Not even somebody that calls you and says, hey, I want to talk about what you spoke to me about, but only if you're ready. And then I want to listen. And I want to let you talk. And at the end of it, I said, Jay, I talked so much today. I said, I feel like I talked the majority of the time. I know I did. I'm sorry. He said, why are you sorry? I said, because I don't want to monopolize the conversation. He said, I called you. I called you. I'm here to listen. Going back to appreciate, you see, these always connect with each other. Going back to appreciating what you have. You may not have kids yet. You may not have that significant other yet. You may not have the job you want yet. You may not have heard back from that potential job yet. You may not have the money you want yet. You may not have the house that you want yet. You may not be living where you want to live yet. You may not know where you want to live. But when you have somebody that you can call and you can talk to that loves you dearly and deeply and truly, and they just want to make sure you're okay, that sit and listen, that don't judge you, that don't question you and beat you down. If God has shown me anything in the last year, it's that sometimes the people closest to you aren't. Sometimes the people that you think are your ride or dies, they're not riding, and they're most certainly not willing to die. So do you focus on them, or do you focus on the phone call from your buddy who honestly called you for no other reason than to take care of you, love you up, remind you of who you are, be there for you, care for you, try to understand you, and help you make the best decision for your health? I've dated girls whose friends are so detrimental to the relationships they're in. And I've been around guys who are so detrimental to the relationships that their friends are in. But I surround myself with people that don't tell me what to do. They just remind me of who I am. They remind me of what I should have. They don't push up my ego, but they also don't stand for anybody pushing me down. So Jay's my top dog of the week because he didn't have to make that phone call. He didn't have to be there. He didn't have to care. He didn't have to try. And he gave up a good portion of his night just to make sure his friend was okay. He gave me the gift of time, a gift that we give and can never get back. So thank you, Jay, for giving me a gift that you knew once it's gone, it's there. You trusted me with it, you gave it to me, and you never regretted it. I love you, brother, and I appreciate you. You are my top dog of the week. Proudly presented by K9 Camp Dog Daycare and K9 Kampground Dog Boarding in East Syracuse. Fantastic people that you need to go out and see to help you out with your dog. No matter the size or the breed, your dog is safe. Because they do a background check on all the dogs too and everything. Temperaments, all of it. To make sure they don't just take any dog, but that they take dogs that are going to be good in general and good with other dogs. K9 Camp Dog Daycare and K9 Kampground Dog Boarding, they do something that many places don't. They give you peace of mind. And that peace, I didn't have it in my massage. Haven't had it in all my relationships. Haven't had it at all my jobs. But I have it every time I drop Lily off. Thank you to K9 Camp Dog Daycare and K9 Kampground Dog Boarding of East Syracuse for all that you do. Get more information by going to k-9kamp.com for the daycare, and for the campground dog boarding for longer term care, go to kampground.com. Both across from BJ's, right there off of Bridge Street. You go up the hill, make your first left, come around the corner, 228 Old Bridge Street in East Syracuse for the daycare, and 242 Johnson Street for the campground. We'll see you over there. And we'll be right back here on Wake Up Call with Dan Tortora from inside of the Cafe Kubal studios with our final piece of today's broadcast, Pacer Pride, sitting down with Vinny Dioria of the Marywood baseball team to talk about Marywood baseball, making history, what they've done, who they've had, honoring the people that just finished up their time at Marywood, talking about the incoming class, being a true family in and of itself, speaking of the coaching staff, and all that is Marywood to Vinny, as well as jumping into the Yankees, the Mets, and the bigger picture of Major League Baseball. Jacob deGrom, Shohei Ohtani, Aaron Judge, and so on and so forth, including more conversation on the MLB trade deadline coming up right after this fast break, where sports meets that thing called life. In these unique times, there are those in our community that give us a sense of normalcy and positivity. Pizza Man on 50 Oswego Street in Baldwinsville has been here for you for over 35 years and is here now. Call 315-638-1234 or order online at pizzamanbville.com to bring those familiar tastes into your home. And remember to come see our monthly on-site broadcasts centered around the community and our Baldwinsville bees. Pizza Man in Baldwinsville. Any way you slice it, they are always here for you.
This is Jimmer Sikowski, owner-operator of Chick-fil-A Cicero, 7916 Brewerton Rd in Cicero, right in front of the Home Depot. I had a deep feeling that God wanted me to do something bigger with my life and to help people, help others. I kept putting Chick-fil-A in my life, and I realized as I was going through the franchise selection process that positively impacting the lives of others was really core to what we do here at Chick-fil-A. First of all, it starts with the food. The food is brought in fresh daily. We bring in local produce. We prepare to order in the kitchen. We hand butter chicken. We hand spin our milkshakes. It's great food. It doesn't taste like fast food. I think the second thing is the way people feel when they come in a Chick-fil-A restaurant. It's different. We try to treat people with intentional kindness here, which is very different and deeper than good customer service. And so I think it feels remarkable for most people to come in a Chick-fil-A restaurant. And then lastly, the impact that we try to have in the community is very different. It's a big part of the expectation of every operator of a Chick-fil-A restaurant is that they're actively engaged in their community, they're a leader in the community, and they're making a difference. When they realize that what we're striving to do is to shine a little light in their life, that's a very, very different experience than you will have in any other quick service restaurant. And it's that remarkable experience that I think people will emotionally connect with.
I'm George Townsend of Honda City with some good advice when buying a new car. The true cost of owning a new car is determined by the appraised value when you trade it. No vehicle appraises higher than a Honda. Next, look for low APRs and deep discounts. You also want low maintenance costs and great fuel economy. That's why my advice to you is to buy a new Honda. Looking pre-owned, visit our Honda Certified Used Car Center. Honda City, 7140 Henry Clay Boulevard, Liverpool, or HondaCity-CNY.com.
It would be a pity if you don't shop at Honda City.
Our corporate purpose at Chick-fil-A is to glorify God by being faithful stewards of all that's entrusted to us and to positively influence all those who come in contact with Chick-fil-A. And what became increasingly clear from our success in Cicero is that people love Chick-fil-A. And also I think we recognized that, we had a great opportunity to grow the brand and grow our platform. I felt incredibly grateful when I was selected to be a Chick-fil-A operator. I think what it's meant for me, what I've come to realize on a very deep level is that this is a calling for me. It's not a career. It's not a job. The Lord called me to be a Chick-fil-A operator and to use these restaurants to glorify Him and to positively influence other people. I'm blessed. I'm very blessed.
Head to Chick-fil-A Clay on 3974 State Route 31 in Liverpool, New York.
Cafe Cabal offers same-day local delivery of our products, offering no delivery charge for Onondaga County. Shop cafecabal.com for fresh roasted coffee beans, cold brew, travel mugs, and all your essential Cafe Cabal needs. Cafe Cabal, coffee for the soul.
This is Amy from Mother's Cupboard, home of the whole frittata. We are open daily 6 a.m. to 1:30 p.m. For takeout orders, call 315-432-0942 and tune in to Wake Up Call with Dan Tortora for our monthly food challenge and try our Wake Up Call signature menu item available 7 days a week. Here at Mother's Cupboard, we are Central New York, and it's our honor to serve you.
Ma and Pa's Kettle Corn and Popcorn Factory remind us that every day is worth celebrating. Find them at 201 Old 7th North Street in Liverpool, New York, open Monday through Saturday in-store and all the time online at maandpaspopcorn.com. Serving our Central New York community and beyond, you can order all throughout the country at maandpaspopcorn.com. And remember to get your tins, which have in-store half-price refills forever. Ma and Pa's Kettle Corn and Popcorn Factory, available to you for fundraising and all of your events by calling 315-450-6272. That's 315-450-6272. Ma and Pa's Kettle Corn and Popcorn Factory. How corny are you?
Witty Wicks Candles and Gift Shop, Township 5 Camillus, where you will find handcrafted all-natural soy wax candles over 60 cents to freshen up your home. We carry a wide range of locally made items, Salsa Q's, Syracuse Salt, and Chocolate Pizza Company, to name a few. Let our knowledgeable staff help choose unique gifts and keepsakes for any occasion. Gifts for family and friends, and maybe a little something for yourself. Woody Wicks Candles and Gift Shop, Township 5, Camillus.
Welcome back here to Wake Up Call with Dan Tortora inside of the Cafe Kubal Studios. Happy to be hanging out with you every Monday through Friday from 9 a.m. to 11 a.m. Eastern Time. Always excited to have Pacer Pride, which comes to you weekly in our exclusive multimedia marketing partnership with Marywood University Pacers, my alma mater. And so on Fridays around 10:30 a.m., we get to showcase the Pacers every single week. And, of course, you can go to the Marywood tab on wakeupcalldt.com, bookmark it. And, of course, subscribe to us on youtube.com/wakeupcalldt for all your Marywood content. My special guest today is reprising his time here on the show, and that's Vinny Dioria here from the Marywood University baseball team. And he said he wanted to come back. I offered him the opportunity to come back. I'm a man of my word, and so is he. With that being said, Vinny, how are you?
Good, doing well. How are you, Dan?
I'm doing well, man. And we got a lot to unpack and get into. We're going to talk Marywood baseball. We're going to talk overall baseball. So how are you doing in this moment, right? We're in the summer. You're getting ready to get back into the swing of things, pun intended for you. Baseball season's happening. So what's on the mind right now? How do you handle summer? What's kind of been going on for you?
You know, I've been itching to get back on campus because I can't wait to get back after fall practices. Fall ball tends to be a lot of fun. We're competitive amongst each other. We have a lot of fun. But this summer is actually the first summer that I've taken a break from baseball. My entire career playing, besides when I had an injury, I had to take a summer off. But I've been staying active. I work for Ripken Baseball in Myrtle Beach, South Carolina. That's where I've been all summer. So I've been around baseball all summer. I've been throwing a little bit, swinging a little bit. But I'm missing my teammates, missing my friends. I can't wait to get back up there and meet all the new guys as well.
Yeah, man. I mean, it's got to be, you know, like you said, you took a summer off for the first time in forever. So how have you handled that and just what you can say about that? Because it's got to be a weird experience for you.
It's definitely been tough, but like I said, I think being around the youth travel tournaments all summer has kind of kept me active in some sort of way. So I haven't lost my footing in baseball as a game, but hopefully I'm not too rusty come the fall.
So for you, as we look at Marywood, we talked about it off the air, what you're excited about. I'd love for you to share with everybody what's exciting about this upcoming season for Marywood Pacers baseball.
Yeah, I was saying to you before that I'm most excited about meeting a lot of the new guys. I think that's the most exciting part for me every fall, meeting all the freshmen. I remember when I was a sophomore and we would do the overnight visits for the newer recruits, I would always ask coach, freshman and sophomore year, I'd always ask coach to have the recruits do their overnights with me because I always enjoyed helping guys feel more comfortable, because I remember the guys that did that for me that eventually became my teammates. And I just always thought it was cool creating those connections and helping the program out overall by attracting recruits. It's always been something that's interested me.
You said that you would ask coach to let them stay with you, let you do the overnights, let you have that opportunity. Some people would shy away from that and say, no, I don't want to deal with any of that. I don't want any responsibility. Why are you the opposite? Why did you want to be the person that welcomed them into Marywood?
You know, I can't put a finger on that, except that I'm a pretty outgoing guy, and I just like meeting new people. I like taking charge and kind of being the guy that someone has to turn to if they need a helping hand with anything.
You said you don't really know how to put a finger on the fact that that's the type of person you are. Have you always been that way?
Always. Ever since I was younger, I actually, like my teachers used to tell my parents that I was good in class, good student, but I talk too much. You know, that's just always been my personality. And I bet if you ask anybody that knows me, they say the same thing.
I think it's funny because I was told that for a while and now I speak for a living. So it's like the ultimate, clap back, I guess. But it's funny because growing up as a kid, it was like, oh, you talk so much and you probably like to hear yourself and whatever. And I was like, no, I said, I talk to people. I learned to say this. I said, if I'm talking with you, never to you, never at you, but if I'm talking with you, then it's because I want to be around you. And the less I talk with you, is the less I want to be around you. So whenever somebody would tell me I talk too much, I'm like, okay, well, noted. You're now not on that list of people that I'm going to be spending my time talking with, because there's nothing wrong with doing that. Vinny, what they're really saying is you're an extrovert. You like to bring people together. You have a good personality, and it's making me uncomfortable. That's what people. My mom always told me that. She goes, people are jealous of people that can walk into a room, strike up a conversation with a total stranger, make you laugh, build friendships. People don't like that. And because it makes them feel uncomfortable. So if somebody told you you talk too much, it's because you have made them somewhat uncomfortable in the room. And that's a good thing.
I'll take it as a compliment, I guess.
Yeah. We all, even listen, I took it as, okay, well, this is who I am. This is what I do. Again, I talk to people I want to. So, I think being a broadcaster of 18 plus years and owning my own company for 10 of those, I'll take I talk too much, and I'll roll with that. So don't ever shy away from that, because obviously I think you like to listen and you like to connect with people. And that's something I think people don't understand when they say you talk too much. They're not really understanding the fact that a lot of us that talk a lot like to hear what you have to say, which is why we're talking with you.
Yeah, I love sharing my personal experiences. I also love learning about other people's. It's just kind of how I've always been.
Yeah. So you got two people that talk too much on the air together, having fun.
We could go about an hour, probably, maybe longer.
Yeah. And we got a lot of stuff to unpack. And like you said, you're excited about this season. You got a big roster coming into this. You guys are coming off of a season where you tied the most wins in a single season in Marywood baseball history. Couple that with the fact that this roster is the biggest one that you've played with. How can this be an asset to a team that got to that historical mark and didn't pass it yet? What about a big roster is making you feel good?
Well, there's a couple of things. One, we've added a lot of depth. We did lose a lot of key parts, with key players from last year that have been a part of this program for a long time. A bunch of starting players, but we've added depth, which is always good, because injuries happen. Things of that nature can always occur. But I also think it adds a lot of competition, which like healthy competition, where guys are going to be returning guys are going to be like, wow, now there's this new kid here who could play ball a little bit, and we have a little bit of a changing of the tides here in our program now. After the guys that just left, there's a couple spots open, and we're looking for that next group of guys that are really going to elevate this program.
We look at the fact that your head coach, Jason Thiel, he's only the third coach in the history of Marywood baseball. What do you like about him? I know we spoke a little bit about this, but, what is it about him as a coach that makes you want to play for him?
He is a very genuine guy, very easy to talk to, and he's very understanding. He's one of the nicest coaches I've ever had, and it's enjoyable playing for him. Seeing that he has your back makes you want to have his back. So it kind of brings us all closer together as a group.
He said that you guys sometimes would practice late at night. You'd go as long as you could. There were some times where him and I were supposed to talk, and it was 11 o'clock. He's like, I'm not going to get out of here till midnight, because he was just really excited to be there. Mm-hmm. And, I always talk about the difference between, I might have said this to you before, but the difference between if you love it or if you think you love it. Because when you love it, it's 11:13. You were supposed to get out of there at 10 o'clock and you want to go till 1. If you think you love it, it's 11:13 and you're going, I was supposed to be out of here at 10 o'clock. I need to get the heck out of here. So how does Jason show you that he loves it?
Well, I mean, like all of us, we have our own lives. He has a full-time job along with coaching, and he has a family, he has kids, and sometimes we'll practice at 5 a.m. and sometimes we'll practice at 10 at night. And he's always there. He's always showing support, and he cares about our individual success as much as he cares about the team's success overall. So it really just shows the type of person he is, and that's a coach that you want to play for.
That coming here from Vinny Dioria, joining me here on Wake Up Call with Dan Tortora inside of the Cafe Kubal Studios for this edition of Pacer Pride and our exclusive multimedia marketing partnership with the Marywood University Pacers. You ended last season not how you wanted to. You wanted to get to the postseason. You had control of your destiny somewhat, and well, I mean, you had control of your destiny there with the last few series that you had. Immaculata comes up and you drop the first two to them. You win the last one. So you won your last game of the season, got you to the 22 victories that tied the single season record at Marywood for most wins in a season. But bring me into that last series against Immaculata. They outscored you 21-2, and then you won that last game 10-2. What happened in that series? What did you learn about that series? And how does that make you hungry for this year?
You know, going into that final series, we knew Immaculata was going to be a tough opponent. They ended up winning our conference and going into the regional and playing well. But every year we play Immaculata, we have a little star next to their name. We love playing them. It's always great competition. It's always exciting on both sides. Bit of a rivalry there that's been brewing over the past few years. And so when we got down there, we still knew, when we got to the series, we still knew that we had a chance to make it into the playoffs, but we knew it was going to be a tough task having to sweep Immaculata to get in a 3-game series, knowing we'd have to face the pitcher of the year, Jason Hughes, who was phenomenal this year. And I think after those first 2 losses, we kind of all just sat back and looked at each other and like, wow, like this is it, like we worked so hard this year, and we're closing in on the win record, but we ultimately missed our goal. So I think what everybody said was, no holds barred. There's nothing to lose anymore. We kind of just sat back, relaxed, and we played baseball like we did when we were younger. We played to have fun. It was my last time that I was going to be able to play with guys like TJ Lacey, Antonio Ferraro, Jake Schuster, Morgan Theobald, Ben Gravel, Michael Temple. I hope I didn't miss anybody, otherwise I'm gonna get a text. Yeah, like those guys helped me grow as baseball players throughout my career. Jake especially took me under his wing when I was a freshman and he was a junior. We lived together the past 2 years, and I was extremely grateful for those guys. And it was tough having to shake their hands, give them a hug at the end of the game, knowing that I'd never step on a ball field with them again. Matthew Ortiz, that's my boy ever since freshman year. I didn't want to forget him. But yeah, we just wanted to have one last ride with each other.
Yeah, and you brought up the guys, and I appreciate that. And I, would love if you could go down the line here and maybe tell me something special about each of them, and so you don't forget anybody. And I know that you just brought them all up here, but you talked about Morgan Theobald. We have also going back on this senior list, Jake Schuster that you had mentioned, who was a grad student, and then also Michael Temple that you had mentioned here, Ben Gravel, and I want to make sure I don't miss anybody as well. Some of the other guys here that we have to mention, and well, you mentioned some of them, TJ Lacey and whatnot. So, I mean, I'd love for you, if you can, kind of maybe share what you liked about each of these guys, something about their personality or the way they played the game, just how each of them in their own way has a place in making you a better player, better person.
Yeah, of course. Me being a senior last year and coming back from my grad year this year, I could start with the guys that were in my grade that are not coming back next year, call it a career. So that would be Matthew Ortiz, TJ Lacey,
Antonio.
Yeah. So those 3, Antonio I've lived with since my freshman year, every single year. I easily say that I'm probably closest with him and TJ and Jake, anybody, because we lived together the past 2 years. But me and Antonio lived together the first 2 years as well. So he's always been there for me. He's a very quiet, humble guy, but he's one of those friends that you need in your life, TJ Lacey, another friend that everybody needs in your life, is easily the funniest kid that you'll ever meet. And anybody that knows him will 100% agree with that. Keeps it light, keeps it fun. He's just a kid you always want to be around. And Matthew Ortiz is one of the hardest workers that we had on our team. He was always team first. And our freshman year, it's funny. We always talked about, by the time we're seniors, we're going to be playing up the middle, shortstop and second base. And it's funny because his last game, he was playing second base with me at short. And I remember saying to him, hey, look at this. This is what we talked about. We also went through surgeries our freshman year. He had Tommy John and I had rotator cuff. So we kind of related in that sense also. I I think that's it for the guys from my grade. The next grade would be Michael Temple, Ben Gravel, and Morgan Theobald.
Yeah.
And those three guys, Morgan specifically, is kind of like almost like a father figure, because he kind of just always made sure we were in check. You know, we everybody thought he was similar to a dad. You know, he was actually the RA of my freshman dorm, and he was right next door to us, and he always looked after us and made sure we were doing the right thing. And you know, he's always just kind of kept my head on straight. Ben is one of those guys that Ben Gravel, that he doesn't say much, but he lets his talent and his actions speak for himself. He loves the gym, big guy, and he's a very genuine good guy. Michael Temple is another guy that kind of just lets his actions speak for himself. Doesn't say much, but he lets his game on the field talk for itself. And both those guys are architecture majors, so they're balancing a 5 years master's program along with baseball, and their work ethic is phenomenal. And then Jake, I mean, like I said earlier, I was a freshman and Jake was a junior, and I think I connected best with him out of any of the upperclassmen teammates my freshman year. We have this running joke. It's like father-son connection between me and him. You know,
Yeah.
we have our little handshake we always do before games, and you know, we talk almost every day. He's actually down in North Carolina vacationing, and next week I'm going to go up an hour to Wilmington and go play golf with him. You know, he's one of my closest friends, and I'm grateful to have him in my life and to see everything that he's gone through the past year and throughout his career. It's amazing.
Yeah, you know, I mean, so you have these connections, and you know, people talk about a team being a family, and you hear it a lot, right? People say, "Oh, we're a family, we love each other, it's family," but it's something that gets thrown around, kind of like "I love you," right? It was funny because I'm going to throw, and you know how I am when it comes to, I'm a very honest person. So I like to throw analogies out there to people. I had some girl that I dated. She goes, "Well, I told you I loved you," and I said, "Yeah." I said, "You know how many girls told me they love me?" I said, "Like 10. I said, "Where are they?" So, you know, I said, you could say it. It doesn't mean you mean it, right? So you could say you're a family. It doesn't mean you are. But it seems like you guys are a family. I asked you to give me individual thoughts on each of these gentlemen that are finished up their time at Marywood. And I didn't say, hey, beforehand, this is what you need to know. This is, you know, here's your questions. And you just said them. So this is a family from what I'm hearing from you.
Through and thin. We even vacationed with each other after the season was over. You know, we just love spending time with each other, and I wouldn't trade these guys for the world. You know, I couldn't be happier that I ended up at Marywood. I don't regret a thing.
So I got to do, and I want to shout out the baseball staff for giving me the opportunity to do this, but I got to do a Zoom call with the guys who were coming back and the new guys coming in. What did you take away from that? And I don't need you to talk about me at all. Just being on the screen with all these guys, what was the experience like, albeit Zoom, that the coaching staff for Marywood baseball wanted you to all kind of get to know each other, talk with each other, get to know each other's personalities? How important was that for you?
You know, that was probably our third Zoom of the summer. And it is imperative actually that we become so tight knit, and especially like we were saying earlier with so many new guys coming in, it's important that we learn who each other are and know that no matter what happens, no matter who anybody is, we're all family no matter what at the end of the day. We love our family for their perfections and their flaws, you know, and we take it for what it is, and that's what we are. So we have to find a way to connect no matter how, because it's the only way you're going to win. And I think that's what last year's team had, that we had guys that had been starters for 3 years together, and we all had a common goal for the past 3 years. We had been through the ups and downs. We had been through some very tough times on the ball field together, and you know, we wanted it together as a group. We didn't want to see anybody else fail, and we wanted to pull through for our brothers.
Yeah, you know, and seeing that, right, seeing the way that you guys have just pulled for each other and done all that you can. For you, from the day you walked into Marywood to where you are right now going into this season, two-part question. First part, how has Marywood made you better? Second part, why did you want to come back and have this extra season for yourself?
Well, I think I've kind of grown up at Marywood. Like when I look back at some of the old memories from the end of high school and coming in as a freshman, I feel like a completely different kid, not necessarily a kid anymore. I feel like I've grown into a young man, like different than I would have imagined at 17 years old. I actually was as a freshman. You go through a big change in life throughout college, and you learn a lot of things, meet a lot of new people, and you realize what your purpose is almost. And I think that Marywood has allowed me to develop into the person I was meant to be, allowed me to be myself and flourish as a student and an athlete. And then you had said what made me want to come back. I think just the love for the game almost. I had planned on working on my master's at some point, whether it was later in life or right after school or at Marywood or not. And then once COVID had hit, I knew that this was a possibility for me, that I wanted to come back and I wanted to play for another year. So I kind of had kept it on the low for a little bit over the past year. I hadn't really told anybody, but I had made up my mind almost right after I found out that I was going to be coming back.
So you're coming back in, you're continuing your education, you're playing on the field. What is this going to do for you for the future? Do you have any hopes of trying out and putting yourself out there baseball-wise after Marywood? And what about your major are you most excited about in getting more of an education?
As tough as it is to say as an athlete, this probably is the end of the line for me. I think every athlete specifically has that realization point where the end of the line is. It's a tough pill to swallow, but I think I'm, more accepting of it now than ever.
Yeah.
And as for my education, I always knew it was important to be as educated as possible. My parents always told me that. And I think obtaining my master's degree is only going to help me in the future. And hopefully I can work somewhere in sports one day and put 2 and 2 together and keep a life in sports and baseball specifically, along with my major of marketing.
What's the dream job for you? What is if you could do anything tomorrow, what would it be?
Despite my education and everything, if I could just do anything,
you do anything. Yeah.
I would love to be a baseball coach. Ever since I was younger, I've always viewed the game from that mindset. I'd love to coach at some level, and make it a full-time job if that were to be possible. And if not, I'd love to just work for, whether it's a major league or minor league baseball team in the front office. That would be a dream come true as well.
So you talk about the marketing side of things and all that. Is your intent to get into sports marketing? Is that what you'd like to do? Would you like to live in that world, do an internship, get your way onto a team? How do you look at it?
Yeah, no, whatever pathway presents itself, I'm kind of at this point going with the flow, seeing what opportunities come up. But yeah, I would love to be able to work with a sports marketing group, whether it's something like equipment, whether it be Nike, Wilson, Rawlings, something like that, or if it is a more professional world, like with a team or something. Whatever opportunities come my way, I'm always open to them.
Vinny Dioria here, Pacer Pride, on Wake Up Call with Dan Tortora in our exclusive multimedia marketing partnership with my alma mater of Marywood University. We have spoken about the world of Marywood and expanded that out, and what you just said, to, potentially working for a team someday. So let's get into those teams. And I would love to get your thoughts on the Subway Series. It seemed like almost nobody can beat the Yankees this season. However, the Mets did. The Mets took them down, and they did it at home, 6-3 and 3-2. There will be a part 2 of this Subway Series on coming up here very soon, Monday, August 22nd, Tuesday, August 23rd. And that's going to be in Yankee Stadium. So we're going to get to see 2 more games. And some people are hoping this season that we get to see a World Series that's in the Subway. So what are your thoughts on the Mets-Yankees? The Mets got the Yankees. So bring me into your take on seeing them play each other. And is this a real viable thing that we could see a Subway World Series?
I think it's a very viable thing. The last time they did play was in 2000, the year I was born, and the Yankees got the better of the Mets there. But the Mets have a very good team this year. I have to give it to them. I'm a diehard Yankees fan. My family's majority Yankees fans, but there are a few Mets fans sprinkled in there. My mom and my late Uncle Jeff are big Mets fans. So I don't hate to see the Mets succeed a little bit. The thing that does bother me a little bit is my teammates that are Mets fans. You know, they like to rub it in, especially after something happens. But I guess that's what Yankee fans do. So you got to give it to us when they can. So I don't know. I'm real excited. The next Subway Series is the first week of school, so I'll know I'll be watching those games with all the new guys and all my teammates, and I'm real excited. It should be fun wrapping down the end of the year.
Yeah, and we got to see somebody return, and he's, at the time that we're talking here, we've got, his first game back was on August 2nd. So earlier this week, as we're here talking on Friday, August 5th. So Jacob deGrom finally made it back to the majors. I don't want to load the question, so we'll get to some of the things I'm thinking after this. But what did you think about his 5 innings pitch? There's 3 hits, 1 run, 1 error on him for this. So, we look at that game at Washington. The team lost 5-1, but Jacob deGrom is back in the majors. It seems for Mets fans and for baseball fans in general like it's been 100 years, but deGrom is back on the mound, back in the majors after a long time away rehabbing his body. What were your thoughts on how he did?
He's unbelievable. He's phenomenal. He's the best in the league, and I think that goes without saying. I think every fan knows that, Yankees fans. NL East fans, everybody knows Jacob deGrom is the greatest right now, and possibly the greatest all time if you look at his stuff. In classic Mets fashion, he ended up losing because they can't score runs for him. But that just is what it is. But he's unreal. He throws 102 mile an hour fastballs with 94 mile an hour sliders. Guys have no chance. It's not even fair for professionals.
deGrom last year, I was concerned. Now, his ERA, and I went to the Hall of Fame last year, brought my dad for Father's Day, and we're walking around the Hall of Fame, and I said to my dad, when I was looking at the ERA numbers and all that, I was like, if deGrom is where he is right now, if he's going to be at the top of this in, all time, and his name is going to be sitting here as a Hall of Fame stat right now with him so young in his career, and they kept playing him and last season before we had, the universal DH, he was hitting and he was an enigma, right? Him and Shohei Ohtani, 2 pitchers. You could probably, I don't know if people can name 10 pitchers all time that can hit the ball. So he's out here doing what he does, and he's hitting, he's pitching well. Everybody loves watching him. They love the opportunity to see a pitcher be able to hit. They love what he's doing on the mound. You just mentioned a couple of things that he does, and they kept playing him. And then it was like, okay, he got an MRI, and then it was unclear what was going on. And they're like, oh, no, it's fine. And then, he'd come in and he'd be nursing something. Oh, no, it's fine. And I kept saying to myself, if he's not 100% and he's not 100% and he's not 100%, you keep playing him, this guy is eventually going to have to sit out at some point, because if you keep playing an injured player who's not 100%, and I know people can argue you're never 100%, you're 98, 197, whatever. But what I'm saying is he was at a place where I felt like he needed to rest. He needed a break. He wanted to play. The Mets wanted to play him. He was chasing history. And eventually it caught up with them, as I thought it would, and he went out. As a baseball player, what are your thoughts on the fact that deGrom, despite the fact that it was like, okay, maybe he needs to sit for a little while, they wouldn't do it. Then they lost him, lost the chokehold that they had of the NL East, didn't make the playoffs, and then lost him for half of this season. So essentially lost him for a full season if you look at half of last year, half of this year. What are your thoughts on how the Mets handled the deGrom situation?
Ultimately, it is the coach's decision and the player's decision combined, and I guess they were both for him playing. It's kind of just a tough situation, because they're in a position where they're winning, and you could say, oh yeah, we'll rest them, but what if you rest them and you lose that lead anyway? So it's kind of just like, if he's ready to go and he says he's ready to go, then you send him out there. I think that's the universal rule among athletes. If they're feeling good and they say they're ready, then they can go. I've dealt with plenty of injuries in my career. I played this entire last season with a herniated disc in my back, actually. And the chiropractors and the physical therapists and the doctors and the trainers, they kept telling me, like, you got to rest this. You got to rest for 6 to 8 weeks. And I'm like, I don't have 6 to 8 weeks. It was 6 to 8 weeks, the season's over. So I gotta play ball. I gotta stay on the field, and I gotta help my team win. So it worked out for me. I'm doing much better now, but it ultimately comes down to what's best for the team and how the player feels.
You talk about what's best for the team. Aaron Judge signed a 1-year contract with the Yankees. You're a Yankee fan. The $19 million fully guaranteed, but as of right now, no new contract, no extension. He's an unrestricted free agent in 2023 at 31 years old. Aaron Judge, your thoughts? I mean, he came into the league in 2016, played 27 games, and then he's played over 100 games in 5 of the last 6 seasons as we are within all of this. So we're seeing what he's done. We're seeing what he's gotten to, where he's at, played 100, over 100 games already this season. And when we look at home runs, over 40, he has 40 plus right now. He had 39 last season. He has 2 seasons of 27. He had 52 back in 2017, his second season where he played 155 games. Your thoughts on Aaron Judge and what are the Yankees waiting for? What's he waiting for? And do you really want this man to be an unrestricted free agent after this year?
If the Yankees don't hand him a blank check, I don't know what they're doing. I mean, he's proven it time and time again, especially this year on a contract year, that he deserves to be paid. And I know there was an arbitration hearing where they weren't offering him the money that he thought he was worth, and he's worth every penny. He's proven it. He's 6'7". He plays center field. He hits the ball 500 feet. I mean, I think even Red Sox fans and everybody that hates the Yankees could agree that Aaron Judge is the best player in baseball right now, and there's no doubt about that. I saw some stat yesterday or 2 days ago. He's not far behind where Barry Bonds was at this point in the season, even the year he hit 73. And that speaks volumes. There's nothing else to say except he needs a blank check and he needs to stay in pinstripes, because I would hate to see him go somewhere else.
Yeah, I mean, I can't imagine that the Yankees don't see the value. So, I mean, I agree. I mean, and the Yankees historically were known to spend money, but that was with George, and Steinbrenner was all about that and all about being okay of letting go of the young talent and getting after the talent that's proven itself in Major League Baseball. So we're used to seeing that. But at this point, I can't imagine what the jockeying is back and forth and what it would even have anything to do with. So, I mean, as a Yankee fan, how are you viewing this thing? Is this an Aaron Judge not being happy? Is it the Yankees saying we're willing to put you on the free market and kind of show you who's boss? I mean, it looks like are two sides trying to flex their muscle, because in my world, Aaron Judge not being a Yankee would be potentially one of the greatest mistakes in baseball in history, maybe.
Yeah, I think this goes on with a lot, like almost every player when it's their contract year. I think Judge knows he's going to get the money. I think the Yankees know they're not going to let Judge walk. I think Judge wants to be in New York. I don't see another market that suits him better. If the Yankees were to let him slip away, it would be catastrophic for their organization. They have a whole section in right field named after him. He's the face of the franchise right now, and we haven't had since Jeter left. And I don't think that they should harm their relationship any more than maybe it has been already. I also think that maybe it's been a little blown out of proportion. I don't think that there's any animosity between the two parties. I think in my mind, Judge is not leaving the Yankees, so I don't have any worries that he won't be in the Yankee uniform next year. So let's hope it stays that way.
There has been a blockbuster trade here, as we just saw the trade deadline come to an end. $440 million contract. Juan Soto said no to stay with the Washington Nationals. Somebody told me, this is crazy. This is insane. Why would you turn down over $400 million? And I said, because obviously he doesn't want to be a National. So with what just happened here recently, the San Diego Padres, who aren't that bad, right? They've done some good things here. They're moving forward with this outfielder, Juan Soto. And we also see the Padres got first baseman Josh Bell. They sent a bunch of players to Washington. Rookie left-hander Mackenzie Gore, first baseman DH Luke Voigt, prospects James Wood, C.J. Abrams, Robert Hassel III, and Jarlin Susana. They're all gone. So what are your thoughts on the Juan Soto thing? And, I mean, I guess give me your first reaction when you heard that he turned down $440 million, and then to see before the trade deadline that the San Diego Padres got one of the star young players, I believe he's 23 years old, that, here he is now a San Diego Padre, and they have already done some good things, which are overshadowed by the Dodgers and shouldn't be. And now they have Juan Soto.
Yeah, I guess when you hear, oh, he turned down $440 million, to an outsider is like, that's absurd. How could you ever turn down money like that in your career? Nothing's guaranteed. You never know you'll get that opportunity again. But I think Soto's willing to bet on himself. And when you really look at it, it was 440 over 15 years, which means he'd be 38 by the time he could enter free agency again. He'd be in Washington for 15 years, guaranteed. Yeah, you're making $440 million, but if you broke that down over 15 years, I think it was something like currently only the fourth highest paid per year in the league. And as baseball's shown, professional sports have shown, guys are only going to get paid more and more every single year. Salaries are only going to keep going up as more money's generated. So I think Soto's willing to bet on himself, go somewhere now where he can win.
Yeah.
And hopefully make more money get a bigger contract offer down the line by a team that he can see himself playing for 15 years or 10 years or whatever it may be.
There's been a bunch of trades that have gone on here before the deadline, as we're here in this Pacer Pride special, talking about Marywood baseball and Major League Baseball with Vinny D'Oria here on Wake Up Call with Dan Tortora inside of the Cafe Cubal studios. Your Yankees have been involved. They got after it, right? And here in August, they have made some moves for pitching and whatnot. What are your thoughts on the moves that the Yankees have made as well as what they've given up?
I like what they've done. They've shown that they're serious about competing like they are every year, and the only move that I may have a problem with is giving up one starting pitcher to the Cardinals, Jordan Montgomery, because he's been proven and he has been solid, but they didn't get it's not like they didn't get a return for him. They got a very elite center fielder for him, Harrison Bader, who's currently injured, but will be a perfect piece to slot into center field. And besides that, they didn't give up any major prospects except one starting pitcher. I think he was in their top 10 of prospects in the organization. But overall, for the return they got, I'm pleased with what they gave up. They got one of the best starting pitchers in the league also to replace the one they gave up. They got a relief pitcher who's having a tough year, Lou Trevino, but in the past has shown he can be good. Throws 100 miles an hour. They got Andrew Benintendi to slot in the outfield, who has been a Yankee killer in the past, so I'm happy we don't have to face him. And the best of all, they got rid of Joey Gallo, who I can't stand to see step to the plate for the Yankees. I'm just hoping he doesn't go to Los Angeles with the Dodgers and figure it out and start hitting home runs, because that would really bug me.
Yeah, Joey's somebody that you're not the only one that's come to me and had some issue with him. What happened?
New York happened. And some people just aren't cut out to play in New York. It's definitely not a tough. It's definitely a tough market to play in, and players have been very vocal about that. Joey Gallo himself was very vocal about that, how difficult it was for him to adjust in New York with how harsh New York fans can be. You saw earlier this year, New York Yankee fans did not resemble all of us accurately by throwing trash on the field and the way they act for some of the players. We're not all like that, all right, everybody watching, but I think he came from Texas, where they weren't necessarily a contender, and he was able to just be himself and play loose. And then he came to New York, where he had all these expectations on him of hitting 40 home runs a year, and then he starts striking out a little bit, and Yankee fans don't like that because it's what we've had to deal with for forever. So, I just don't think it was a fit for him, and hopefully he can figure it out in free agency and find a place that he can perform in.
Yeah, and the Yankees, went after a lot of pitchers here in August to acquire a bunch of them and to see what they can do here, as they step forward. I believe 4 pitchers that they've gone after to, bolster up their bullpen and see what they can do. Them doing that, the questions come up, that obviously in recent years they could hit the ball, but pitching was a question mark. Do you think they have enough in the bullpen? And then secondly, to speak a little bit more about Harrison Bader, I know he's injured, but what does he do for this team with Gallo out, Bader coming in? What can that do for the outfield? So your thoughts on that, and if the Yankees have enough pitching to go deep in the postseason?
The pitching, the Yankees bullpen has over the past few years been notoriously pretty good, actually. It's always been the starting pitching where we struggled.
Yeah.
And, I think our starting pitching this year has actually been better than it has been in the past. You know, Cole's being Garrett Cole here. Here and there he has a bad start. You know how that goes. Nestor Cortez has been a big surprise. We now got Frankie Montas, so we'll see how he does. Severino's injured. That's the problem that's been hurting the Yankees. Is Chad Green, phenomenal reliever, is injured out for the year. Michael King, who has been amazing this year, injured, fractured his elbow, out for the year. Clay Holmes has been a revelation, getting him from the Pirates with a career 5.5 ERA, and now he's one of the best relievers in the league. So I think that them adding the two relievers and the starting pitcher really going to bolster their ranks. And I'm not too concerned about the pitching. I'm just concerned about the bats when it comes to the postseason, because, you know, the Yankees live and die off the long ball, and, you know, that can hurt in the postseason when you need that one hit and it doesn't come. And Harrison Bader, I mean, he flies around the outfield. He won a Gold Glove last year in center field for St. Louis. So I think we'd be able to move Hicks to the bench when Bader comes back. And Bader, one thing that has made the Yankees better this year is their defense has improved, and they've gotten more speed. So they're continuing with that narrative by picking him up and having Benintendi in left, Bader in center, Judge in right, and Giancarlo DHing. I think that's a pretty good lineup with Hicks's bat off the bench.
And before we finish up here looking at Major League Baseball, a team that spends a lot of money and has a bunch of guys on big contracts just doesn't win. The Los Angeles Angels, under 500, not doing well, bottom of the AL West. What's going on with the Angels, and do they have to part ways with Ohtani? Do they look at, I know his contract's massive, but do you go after youth? Do you say, let Ohtani go? Do you try to work something with Mike Trout and get a bunch of guys on the team? What do you do with the Angels' conundrum of having talented individuals, but just not a team that can get it done?
It's actually sad to watch that we're watching Mike Trout's career unfold like this in terms of team success. So he's debatably the greatest baseball player of all time that anybody's ever watched, and he has problems with injuries. You know, the recent news about his back and how it could very affect his career in the future. Yeah. I feel awful for him. I just don't think he'll leave Los Angeles, though. I think he's a lifetime Angel. He has that contract that he's inked there for the rest of his career, and I don't think, kind of like the Yankees can't let go of Judge, I can't see the Angels letting go of Trout. Ohtani, on the other hand, is not linked to a long-term contract. After next season, he's a free agent, I believe, and if they were to trade him, I don't think it'd be an awful idea, because Ohtani is a phenom, and we haven't seen a player like him ever, really, who can hit the way he does and pitch the way he does. And I think the return that they would get for Ohtani overshadows what Ohtani actually does. I think they could get a numerous amount of pieces that would make them a much more well-rounded team, and more competitive team than just having two superstars in LA. Yeah.
We know that, there's arbitration 3 for Ohtani coming up here. Are you surprised they didn't try to ship him before the deadline?
Not surprised, because of the other factors at play, like Soto, everybody bidding war on Soto. I don't think it was a bad idea, because you don't want to just ship him off on a whim. And, you want to make sure you know what you're getting for him, and you don't want it to be limited in any way. So I think maybe free agency time would be a better time to trade him, because you see where pieces are moving and you see what players people have. And you want him to be the main attraction. If people are shipping out stuff for Soto and not as focused on Ohtani, then you're not getting the best bang for your buck. So I don't think moving Ohtani is the worst thing in the world for the Angels.
Do you think it needs to happen? Does there have to be a change of scenery in some respect with the Angels? I mean, have we gone stale at this point?
It doesn't need to happen, but you've seen big contracts in the past fail with the Angels. Like Rendon hasn't been playing like Rendon was paid to play. Albert Pujols never performed like they wanted Pujols to perform. And they've just struggled to get consistent pitching and bats that can fill in behind Ohtani and Trout. So I don't think Ohtani needs to leave LA, but I think it would be in LA's best interest for them to get as much in return as they can for him before he ultimately decides, I'm not going to re-sign with you guys. I'm just going to walk somewhere else for free, So if the Angels want to get some value out of Ohtani, if they don't think they can re-sign him, then getting rid of him is the best option.
That coming from Vinny Dioria, an expanded Pacer Pride here today as we talk about the Marywood Pacers, their family, their connection. We honor those that have finished up their time at Marywood and helped them make history. And we're excited about this season with the new faces coming in, the returning faces like Vinny's face, and the rest of this wonderful, wonderful Marywood content that we have coming up for you in Pacer Pride. As always, to the baseball team and to all of Marywood University, past, present, and future, we thank you. And we truly appreciate your Pacer Pride. And, of course, always good to talk Major League Baseball. Vinny, I appreciate you being on. I thank you for your time, and I look forward to the next one.
Well, thank you for having me, Dan. Appreciate it.
Want to thank once again Marywood University for our exclusive multimedia marketing partnership with the fantastic administration, student athletes, and coaches at Marywood University, including Vinny Dioria, who got to speak with us on Marywood Baseball and on Major League Baseball topics as well. Before we wrap up today's show, I want to remind you that Wake Up Call with Dan Tortora in just a couple weeks is going to be down in the great state of Florida for our college and pro football preview week. We did it last year. We're doing it again, and we'll be down at Hooters I Drive in Orlando, Florida.
Hey everyone, it's Sydney from iDrive in Orlando. We can't wait to welcome Wake Up Call with Dan Tortora on site at 8801 International Drive in Orlando. Broadcasting live Monday, August 22nd through Friday, August 26th during our lunch each day from noon to 2 p.m. Come see us girls, hear from Dan and his special guests, and preview the college and NFL seasons from the greatest seat for all sporting events. Hooters I Drive in Orlando.
Definitely excited to be out there at Hooters on Monday, August 22nd and to Friday, August 26th, the entire week. Yes, this is Lily in the studio. For those of you that don't know, this is Lily. I picked her up, and she does not want to get down. So I'm holding on to the goose here on Wake Up Call with Dan Tortora. Bring your daughter to work day is every day for me. So thank you to Carvel DeWitt for the annoying moment of the week. Thank you to that massage therapist for giving me the annoying moment of the week. God bless to you moving forward. I hope it all goes well. And yeah, I am not going back there. I don't know. Everybody's, whatever. We're not going to get into it again. Lead, learn, evolve, ad-lib, and deliver from Chick-fil-A Cicero and Chick-fil-A Clay, focusing on what we have and appreciating what we have instead of demanding what we do not or not appreciating what is with us. Top dog of the week, honoring my buddy Jay. Oh, now you want to see the camera? So honoring my buddy Jay in the top dog of the week, proudly presented by K9 Camp Dog Daycare and K9 Kampground Dog Boarding. For those of you wondering, yes, Lily lent her voice to the top dog of the week. That is her barking. And to Pacer Pride, a big thanks to Vinny Dioria of Marywood University for the baseball team, as well as, for everything we got to talk about Marywood-wise, as well as Major League Baseball overall. Vinny Dioria, a fantastic asset to Marywood University and someone that I always appreciate having on the show, and I'm very thankful for him. So thank you to Vinny for your time, and thank you to Marywood for theirs. Monday through Friday, 9 a.m. to 11 a.m. Eastern Time, Wake Up Call is live with you on mixlr.com, facebook.com, and youtube.com, all /Wake Up Call DT. You could also find us by going to wakeupcalldt.com's homepage and on facebook.com /LiveNowDT as well. So however you connect with the show, we thank you so much for tuning in every Monday through Friday from 9 a.m. to 11 a.m. Eastern Time. Once the shows go live, they jump into the archive on Amazon Music, Audible, iHeartRadio, iTunes, and Apple Podcasts, MixLR, Player FM, Podbean, TuneIn, Podvine, Spotify, Stitcher, and YouTube. All you have to do on any one of these channels is search Wake Up Call with Dan Tortora, or one word, Wake Up Call DT. A big thanks to all of our Central and Upstate New York partners, Cafe Cabal, Carvel DeWitt, the Wildcat Sports Pub, PB&J's Lunchbox, Witty Wicks, K9 Camp, Dog Daycare, Avicoli's, Mon Pa's Kettle Corn and Popcorn Factory, K9 Kampground Dog Boarding, Honda City of Liverpool, Millhouse Market, Pizza Man, Victory Sports Medicine and Orthopedics, Chick-fil-A Cicero and Chick-fil-A Clay, and Mother's Cupboard. Wake Up Call with Dan Tortora is also the exclusive multimedia marketing partner of your Lemoyne College Dolphins. It is Fins Up every single month on Wake Up Call with Dan Tortora as we get to celebrate the Dolphins here at Lemoyne. And you'll hear from Athletics Director Bob Beretta every first and third Wednesday of each month. You know, on Wednesdays we call it Dolphin Time, and I want to thank Bob for coining that phrase. Dolphin Time Wednesdays at 9 a.m. Eastern Time. Every first and third Wednesday we have new episodes of AD and DT with Athletics Director Bob Beretta and myself, Dan Tortora. Every second and fourth Wednesday, we have the Dolphin Dive at 9 a.m. Eastern Time, featuring student athletes, coaches, as well as administration, alumni, and future Dolphins. Our exclusive is coming up here with Yaro Zavaslan, the interim women's soccer head coach for Lemoyne, just hired days ago. And we had the exclusive breaking news article in conjunction with Lemoyne. We thank them for that information and obviously all the quotes from Bob Beretta and whatnot. And we're very excited to air for you the exclusive first interview with Yaro since accepting the job. And that'll be this coming Wednesday, August 10th at 9 a.m. Eastern Time. For all of our Dolphin content, go to the Lemoyne tab on wakeupcalldt.com and bookmark it, and it will update itself. And then, of course, well, I will update it, but for you, it'll look like it's updating itself, so making it easy for you. And you can subscribe to our YouTube channel on youtube.com/wakeupcalldt. For more information on your Dolphins, go to LeMoyneDolphins.com. Wake Up Call with Dan Tortora is very excited to be the exclusive multimedia marketing partner of the Marywood University Pacers. It is Pacer Pride every single month on Wake Up Call with Dan Tortora, as I am a very proud Pacer as an alum. The Marywood Pacers are with me on Fridays, including today around 10:30 a.m. Eastern Time, with our Pacer Pride exclusive specials. You can check out the Pacer Pride in all of our shows that we've done with them by going to the Marywood tab on wakeupcalldt.com. You can also go to youtube.com/wakeupcalldt and subscribe to us there. And of course, you can get more information on your Pacers by going to marywoodpacers.com. The Bryan and Stratton College Bobcats of Syracuse bring you the Bobcat Buzz in our exclusive multimedia marketing partnership. Just did a bunch of specials with the men's basketball team. Soccer season is around the corner, and plenty of great stuff is coming up for the Bobcats. You can get all of our exclusive content by going to the BSC SYR tab on wakeupcalldt.com, bookmarking and keeping that. You can also subscribe to youtube.com/wakeupcalldt and be here with us every single month for the Bobcat Buzz with student athletes as well as administration and coaches. Get more information on your Bobcats by going to syracuse.bscbobcats.com. With that being said, we want to thank you for tuning in from the Cafe Kubal Studios. Cafe Kubal there with you on 3501 James Street, 324 West Water Street, and 401 South Salina Street, all in Syracuse, New York. You can also go down to South Salina Street and enjoy some beer on tap at Cafe Kubal, which is open later downtown. So make sure you head out there and enjoy some good things. I know you wanted to guess. 343 Fayette Street in Manlius, New York, and on the corner of Route 11 and Taft Road at Sweetheart Corners for their drive-through location. Find us on Facebook. You want to show everybody where Facebook is? Facebook at Wake Up Call DT, Twitter at Call DT, and Instagram at wakeupcall_DT. All the time on wakeupcalldt.com. And as always, God bless, no stress, do your best. We'll talk with you soon. Thanks for a fantastic week.